What's up? Trying to share the stream a little bit, but phone is not cooperating. Oh, there we go. How do I do this? What's up, everybody? Trying to get some more people here. If not, I'm just going to hang out and watch TV. And one more post. Boom. How's it going, Mike? Yeah, I'm just I'm sitting in here chilling. There's a little sneak peek. Not everybody's gonna see this unless they check this out, but boom. Very, very excited about that. They are really awesome. Way better than what I had before. The stock headlights, they just for whatever reason my driver's side was super dim and the passenger side was really bright. So I fixed it. What are you up to, Mike? Hmm. Mike, you have to remind me because I do both cars. Are you you're an MG guy, right? Or are you are you Mustang guy? Ah, that's right. Yeah, I still got my rubber bumper for this, and I'm debating whether or not I really don't want to put it on. I kind of want to get a seen some people do some pretty neat things with the Sebring bumpers. I want to do that and get a new air dam. My air dam's cracked, but kind of goes along with my little my rugged front end I got here. I actually don't mind having the pot preparation in case I break down. Street Outlaws. I remember when that show started. Yeah, yeah, those are the so they're the Angel Eye headlights. They're actually for a Jeep, and I got them off Amazon for $63 after a coupon. And yeah, they're amazing. They're awesome. They you can basically what I did was initially I was gonna wire the halo in. It plugs right in, by the way. It's got the same tri prong out, and so the normal lights plug right in. But if you want to use the ring, um, it's got two connectors. One's for the white daylight running ring or whatever daylight ring, and then there's another connector that when it's powered, it turns the ring amber, so you can use it as a turn signal. So I've wired my turn signals. I got to clean those connectors still, but I've wired the amber light to my turn signal, and and the ground is in the tri prong, so you don't have to worry about that. And then I wired the normal white daylight ring. I ran it to the fuse panel where there's a supply of 12 volt, and I plugged it in or I just put a connector on the fuse panel at an empty spot. And maybe I did it wrong, but it's working great and it looks amazing. And that way, the daylight ring is on no matter what, as long as the car's running or as long as the ignition's on. But I left the gravel guards on because they're really cool, and yeah, I like them. Maybe they're illegal. Who knows? But there's no way they obstruct the light because these lights are bright. Uh oh. Yeah, my garage right now. I got a bunch of stuff coming up for the MGB. I uh, I had an incident, and there's a couple of videos that are coming up for this thing. Um, I took it out on some back roads that are real windy. There are these roads I normally take the boss out on, and it's a lot of fun. Usually going a little faster than the boss because it grips pretty well. But took the MG out there with my dog, and man, I had a good time. I felt like I was flying. Went back, watched the video. I was probably doing about 60 miles an hour, and it really wasn't that fast. But it I ended up using the brakes a bit, and I think I ruptured my master cylinder, so I got to replace it. Well, I'm telling you, man, these were like for $63, $63 for these, and I'll send you when I put the video up. I think I'm gonna do. I have two videos. I've already got one. It's gonna be pretty short, and it's gonna be the just an unboxing because I wanted to record it when I first got it, and so I got them on Halloween. So I did that one. It's already pretty much ready to go. Um, and then I'm gonna do a separate one on the install, but I'll put the link for them below if you're interested. They also have a bunch of other ones from this company, different types. I just like this one. I've seen them on there's standard 7 inch, Jeeps. It's a Jeep headlight, but I've also seen these on like a Bel Air, a bunch of other cars, and I just thought they looked really good on the an old school body style. I'm thinking about doing this more often. I think I want to live stream once a week, just because it's fun talking cars. COVID makes it a little bit difficult sometimes. Can't really. I'm not supposed to go out in huge groups. So, uh, my father's here. You guys want go check out his? If you're into woodworking, check out his channel. He's very. I don't want to give him too much credit because he's listening, but he's pretty talented. go through the fender to get the light out. You talking about the old light? No. So actually, I didn't. Honestly, it's way less work than I. So initially, I did take the light out. So I'll talk about it here real quick. But you're going to take off the ring, and then you can unbolt the middle or top ring that holds the light in, and literally just unplugs. I accidentally unscrewed the whole housing and had to put it back on. But honestly, even if you take the whole thing out, it's super easy. Anyone else having issues hearing me? Sorry, I turned the camera away from me, so that might have been a problem. I don't know where the mic is on my laptop. Looking for it. Like, if you didn't hear anything I said, I can kind of go over it again. But no, I mean, I think I might have took the wheel off when I installed them when I first bought the car. I can't even remember. I'd have to go back to like video 3 or whatever the heck it was. But I was in such a rush. Uh, okay, so I was in such a rush to put these on when I first got the car because I was just trying to put it back together that I didn't realize there's different wire lengths for each headlight. And so I put the headlight that was supposed to be on the passenger side on the driver's side and vice versa. So I had to actually unscrew it anyways and put it back in. But even doing that, if you really need to reach back there, just turn the wheel away from the side you're working on and you can reach in there. And I know some of you guys though have way lower cars than mine. I've got pretty good ride height, so I've got a pretty good gap. So that might be different for you. Mine is not as low as a lot of people's, but I have the previous owner did a strut slash a strut shock conversion. If you guys can hear me and you wouldn't mind, just give me a thumbs up. It's good we got some MG. I like talking about both. Yeah, pops the the movement on the brakes is that I took it out and I ruptured the master cylinder, so I got to replace it, and so it's parked until then, and I got those parts on order. Leighton actually, there's another video. Your grandchild actually helped me bleed the rear drums. But yeah, Mike, the shock conversions, they're good. There's actually a problem on the driver's side, which I've never really shown on a video except once, and you'd have to really dig back to really find it. Um, I got something I'm working on. I got to fix it, and I don't think I don't think I'll show you right now because some people probably freak out about it. Let's just say it's pretty springy on the driver's side. Oh, we're starting to get some people in here. Uh, Mike, oh, losing my connection. Mike, what mods you got on your 79? Or any mods or anything unique about it? Hey, Rich, how's it going? Any Mustang people in here yet? I'm just kind of curious. We're doing all right. Just finished working on the B a little bit. Got some pretty cool stuff coming. Some of these guys have already seen it, but I'll go ahead and give you a heads up on one of the video install videos I'll be showing later. Very definitely super happy with that. I think it looks awesome. And when they're on, they're they are amazing. Uh, Sorry, my laptop's moving around. I'm sitting in a. Here's another problem. I'm limited in my garage right now. Single car. You got the Weber mic? Weber's go-to for a lot of people in here. Yeah, my garage is pretty full right now. We got the boss behind me. We got the kids' cars right there. There's a trailer over there. All my Christmas stuff is in between. Actually, not all. That's only half. And then there's Andrew. But we are crazy Christmas people here, and I've got a lot to put out, so it's starting to go up now. And the kids love it though, so that's all that matters. Well, we just so we did the headlights. Stromberg. Okay. Okay, I got you. I don't know anything about that one. I only know what I know about my car through trial and error. The electronic ignition is supposed to be. Uh, Let me get back to pickle first. So the next thing for the B, hopefully the parts I ordered from Moss will be here soon, because they said they were in stock. And when they're in stock, they usually get to me within like 2 days. But I got a new master cylinder. I got to put in the put in. Had a problem. I ruptured it driving it the way I would drive the boss behind me, and so that's it's coming. And then I also ordered the hardware kit for the trim, and I know I got my passenger fender has a spot where there's no paint, but it's clear coated over with no paint, and it's kind of rustic look. And I'm gonna leave it right now because it's kind of rugged looking. I want to get the trim on. I might need to get a rivet kit. I've never done it before, and I don't really know what I'm doing, so I'm gonna study it a bit before I do it, and then I'll install that. As far as mileage, if the I'll have to go peek, but if the dash is if it's correct, oh, let me see. Hold on. If it's correct, 109,000. I'm guessing because the previous owner, I still talk to him. He is, excuse me, he still follows me, but he told me it's not the original engine. He put in a gold seal motor. Yeah. At some point, I want to do the electronic ignition. I really, one of the first things I did to the B to really screw myself a little bit. So actually, I tried to get this thing started within the first year of having it. And the big video I was going to do to get it started before I had to go somewhere, It was a failure, and I never uploaded it, and it was utter disappointment because I was like trying to start it probably about 5 days before I left for 8 months, and it, I think part of it was I had something wired wrong, and I mangled my ground inside of the distributor. I opened it up, and it looked like a tattered ground, and I kind of pulled it with a pick hook kind of thing, and because I was like, "What is this?" It looked like a piece of debris in there, and I realized it was a ground strap that was just tattered. It literally looked like a piece of a rag stuck in there, and I tried to pull it out, and then I realized it was my ground strap, and then I had a oh crap moment. So um, it's I don't know how to say this. It's sort of reconnected in there, so it's running. The car's been running. Actually, the car runs great, but I definitely want to change that up at some point. But I tried to start it today to back it out so I could see the halos outside against my house and or the angel eyes outside against my house, but it's too cold and my choke cable is not connected. It's broken. Need a new one. I don't even have the choke linkage though for the two carbs that connects them. And though you can't order that from Moss, I actually need some. I gotta find one. But it was too cold to start it, and I can manually I can choke it myself, but I need a second person to start the car. Yeah, it's so cool seeing these things on a rotisserie. I don't have those. I don't have the means for that. And I think one of the eventually one day dream garage. I want a detached garage that can have four cars and a lift in there, four post lift, so I can lift the car up and park another car under it. It's really a 5 car garage. Charles, you got much? Is there much rust on there, or is it pretty clean? Yeah, there's some. I'm on Facebook, Mike. I'm in pretty much all the MGB groups that I know of, um, and I do probably spam them pretty good with my videos. Whatever. Uh, the real, the only people who've really had an issue is I accidentally joined MG Octane, like the TD guys, and they were not happy that I posted an MG video in their group. But I didn't quite understand what it was until after I had already done it, and I got a lot of people pretty upset at me. But it is what it is. I'm making the best of COVID while I can. This is how I've been getting through it. And COVID, the one perk is I got my project car running, drivable, registered, and yeah, so I'm proud of it and I like sharing it. That's good. Yeah, I actually put in the and a lot of people don't. A lot I get a lot. I got a lot of grief for it. I still have the SU, the original SU, the metal one. It came with the car. It wasn't in it. He had put a one of the plastic ones replacements in, and the plastic was leaking. It had a cracked connection right above the banjo bolt, and so I put in one of the. I bought a I think it was a 4 psi, probably a little more pump off of Amazon, and I put a regulator on. The regulator is working real good. It looks real nice underneath too, and both were pretty cheap. And I just because the pump was like 20 something bucks, I just ordered a second one. I just keep it in the trunk. Worst case, if anything ever happens, I literally have to just unscrew the old one, screw the new one on, and go. Because I also have crimpers and some wire in there. I can make it home regardless. Yeah. So Charles, I got some rust still. I've got to replace the passenger side still, and that's my pending winter project that I really don't want to do, but I got to do. The passenger side kind of freaks me out a little bit because the fuel lines are under there, and the way I'd been taking care of this was the flux core welder, and flux core is super hot, and welding in general is hot, but flux core is really hot, and I really don't want to set off or get anywhere near my fuel lines. Oh, that's a cool story. Yeah, Randy, that's a cool story. I wish that's. Are you? Do you have? Are you documenting it? It's cool that's been in the family though. Only reason I have mine is it kind of it fell in my lap. I would not have this car if I did not get it for a great deal. Yeah, I don't know. Is mine? I don't think mine is considered an early B. Maybe it is. One thing I've really noticed is that these 74s and halves are they can be a pain in the butt to buy parts for. They're kind of like a Frankenstein. It seems like every time I go on Moss, it'll give me the option for 74, 75, and usually it's the 75, but occasionally it seems like there are a few 74 parts, so I got to be careful. Like my master cylinder is definitely a 74 master cylinder. But yeah, Randy, your car is probably I'm sure it's way nicer than mine. Originally, the plan was for this thing to be a rugged little race car, and I might still do that. I'd like to enter it into some autocross, but I don't know if I'd pass any tech inspection they'd have. Got a little bit of oil leaking, and so right now I'm just kind of enjoying just driving it. Add a little oil as necessary. Ah, you're pulling the so the parts car is becoming the car, or is the 77 the parts car and the 78's the a driver? At some point, if I could get the mechanical background and the mechanical know-how, the dream goal would be, and people tell me, go with the car, go with the builds that are already been done, like the 302 or the Land Rover or the what 3.6 or the V6 from Chevy. But I would love to put the 3.7 Ford Cyclone in this thing at one point. I saw one for sale on Marketplace one day for I think it was like I wanted 950 for the engine and the transmission, which is a heck of a deal. And that little V6 packs about 310 horsepower. Well, Mike, it's funny. I almost the only reason I haven't really completely abandoned my rubber, it's not on because I do have the tow hooks already installed for flat tow. Um, the only reason I haven't really completely said I'm going to abandon it is because I was on, I don't remember what page I was on, but I was reading the history of the 74 and a half and how basically they were trying to avoid the emissions regulations of the 75 because at year 75 they could no longer, I guess, run the SUs. So they called it 74 and a half, right? And the 74 and a half is the only rubber bumper that has the red emblem instead of the black emblem. So it's still in my garage because I thought that was a cool little piece of little tidbit of a story. I enjoyed it. I'm still learning a lot about these cars. I definitely am not an expert. I'm an amateur who share my experiences and hopefully people learn from them or get a laugh. I take care, Charles. Sorry if I missed you already. Yeah, I I'm sure I'd have to do some hardcore modifying to fortify this little car to handle that kind of power that I was talking about. If I ever did the real swap, I mean, I'd have to buy some more big boy toys. I want a better welder and some things that I could fabricate with. Okay, Randy, I've probably seen some of your posts. I'm just not putting two and two together. I tell you what, one of my favorite MGBs is there's a guy who it's like turquoise or teal, and I think he's kind of got the same windshield setup as me, where he only has the windshield, not the side windows or the front side windows. I might be wrong; he may have them, but he put the Honda 2000 or S2000 engine in his, I think, and he just recently dynoed it. He's got a YouTube channel too, and he's got a really cool car. Only fuel pump, the same regular. Okay. Yeah, it's super easy. I haven't mounted mine. I kind of got it. Well, it's mounted, but I just kind of put it in the same hole it was in, and it's kind of gronked down in there with the one hose kind of sticking out and wrapping back in. And it's not. I mean, it's not going anywhere. I need to get in there and finalize its position, but I haven't decided where I want to put it yet. I've got probably a lot more hose than I need to, so I should probably chop that down. Yeah, I do know that. I knew some of them had the small V8s, and then I've seen the Miata swaps too. Oh, I bet you that sounds really good. Yeah, one thing I want to do, and I've actually asked the local area. Another thing I do want to do is spend the. I need to go to a hardware store, and if anybody know what diameter the pipe is, because I want to cut out the. It's probably a cat, right below my seat. Good thing here about North Carolina is your car is older than 35 years, no inspection required, because I would not pass. Randy, you got the are you running the stock cam or did you go for the I think isn't it Summit that makes a little more aggressive cam? Or maybe it's just Summit that has. I can't remember. I remember seeing there was there's a pretty decently priced racing cam out there. Yeah, I don't know if mine. That's awesome though, Randy. I don't think mine will ever be a full restore. If it is, it'll be with my kids later as they get older. Like the goal was to get it running and get them interested, right? And my kids love the cars; they love them. Um, but now that they're running and I get the dangerous stuff out of the way, like the welding, there's more stuff that I can get them involved in. Like I got a video coming up with my son. He helped me bleed the drum brakes. He was sitting in the car, hitting the gas, hitting the brake when I told him to. That's not a bad idea. I mean, I could do it because it had it had a really easy clamp. I just want to. Are you talking about under the car or in the trunk? I know I've showed a bunch of you guys already, but I don't know who's here and who hasn't been here. But here was what I was working on today. And have I showed you all? Oh well. I went to school for mechanical engineering, and anything electrical is my least favorite thing to do ever. There's nothing wrong with that. They sound good too. I would only even go to the new a different one for more of a choppy sound. It's so what I love though about the MG. I don't know. It's funny. I think I already said this. Driving this thing going. So I don't have an overdrive car going about 60 miles an hour. Um, feels like I'm flying down the road. And I just shot a video this weekend because I found a nice windy road. I usually take my boss on, and the boss, let's say I'm going pretty aggressive, but with the MG doing about 60 and some of these sweeping turns, it felt, man, it feels like you were flying. And then I go back and I watch the video, thinking it was gonna be a really cool upload. It might still be, but it's very tame. But I had a great time. Uh, the missus is in here. Well, Randy, honestly, so I just ruptured my master cylinder, but the master cylinder's got to be it's at least 32 years old. But I put in the probably this past week, I've probably put at least 250 miles on it. I mean, I was driving it around. I took it to work like 3 times, and my trip to work was pretty far. Under the car. Okay, got it. But I mean, it's running great. I've got a great tune on it right now. My mom's here too. Yeah, but learning to tune the carbs, that was a pain. I think I had to retune it I think I retuned it like 3 times. The third time, it's way better. It's running super smooth. I double checked the had one valve I was uncertain of, so I double checked that with my father, and the valves valve adjustment is good to go. But it idles super smooth. I have it set to idle a little bit high. It's probably idling right at 1,000. Yeah, that is lucky. One of my big guys who's been a great source of knowledge has been I think it's David Russell, David Wilkes Russell, David Russell Wilkes. He's been really great, and I've been following his channel when he follows mine, and he comments, and he's definitely helped me out a lot. He's a very knowledgeable MGB racer. But yeah, I appreciate like whenever I go on the MG groups. For the most, yeah, the only group, like I said earlier, the only group that's ever given me issues was MG Octane, and that was because I didn't know it was like a 1950s and before MG group. I accidentally posted a video of the B and they freaked out. For more or less, all the MG groups have been very helpful whenever I've had questions because I've learned this car from nothing. So only reason I got it is because the original owner was retiring to France, and I saw it in his garage, and I asked him one. I didn't know he was retiring to France, but I said, "Hey, what's that old car in your garage? It's under a bunch of boxes." And he's like, "Oh, it's an old MGB." And he's like, "You want it?" And I'm like, and I had just bought the Boss 302, and I was like, my wife, and she's in here listening, I think, she will kill me. And she gave me the challenge to, if I could fit it in the garage, I could have it. And I sold my weight set that was in the garage, and that paid for the MGB. The guy wanted $500. He gave me probably about 80% of probably about 90% of the mechanical parts I needed to get it running, and I invested probably another 330 in parts, and then the car was running, and you're still breathing. Sorry, the car was running and registered, so it's good to go. This was my goal was to get this thing drivable, registered for less than 1,000, and that's what I did. Yep, I have the Unisync, and that's how I did it originally. Um, but I was still learning it. The previous owner had the carbs rebuilt, but he was uncertain if the guy did it right. But I found out he did, and they were not set up at all. So I had to like figure out where the air fuel ratios were for each one, and so it took a lot of playing. And I learned it took some learning for me, but I got it figured out. Hey, my wife's here. Everybody, comment if you want to see her learn stick shift in the MGB or in the boss, or just to get involved in some videos. I appreciate it, Randy. Well, it grew a lot more than I thought it would. I mean, I've still only got I don't have a ton of followers, but I think I started out back in March with like 40, and it's grown a lot since then. But I've also had nothing else to do because of COVID other than make some videos. Because originally I couldn't go to any car events because of work. So Randy said it was on the was I did, wife. They're sitting right here. All of them. Well, most of them, not all of them. There's still a lot in storage. Too bad. Uh-oh. Click something. Randy, it was you that said it's on the rotisserie, right? Yep, I'm using VR1. I when I didn't know better, so it's funny. The car had been sitting, and I drained the oil. And the first oil change, this was about 2 years ago, and the oil actually looked really good. It was still very clear, so I'm pretty sure when he parked it, he put in brand new oil. So I drained it, filled it up. That oil was in there for probably about a year and a half, but it kind of um, I kind of used it as I was troubleshooting, getting it running. And then once I got it running, I drained it again after it had been, I let it run for a little bit. And then, so now it's on, back then I was using Castrol GTX 530, or was it 20W50, right? Whatever. Yeah, 20W50, I think. And then I switched over to the VR1 for the high zinc because I didn't know better. I didn't know about the high zinc. So luckily, it didn't get a lot of runtime without it. But um, you know, it was a lesson. But I got it. Yeah, I'm running VR1 right now. I put the Castrol GTX into my transmission. I actually still need to do the rear diff, but when I drained the transmission, it was disgusting. If you haven't seen that video on what came out of there, you should go check that out. That was nasty. It stunk. It smelled awful. And actually, I was so concerned about what came out of there because it was so gross looking. I filled it up with Castrol GTX. I drove it around the neighborhood, came back, drained it again to flush it. Gas tank is fine. So I was actually that was my main concern. So the previous owner, so this car, I was very fortunate. He parked it in. I have a inspection sticker on the window. Last safety inspected December 1998 or 1988. So the car had been parked for 32 years, almost. Coming up on 32 years, right? Um, and he stopped driving it, but he parked it inside. So the rust that it had was from when he had leaking from a roadster top, and so that it caused my floor pans to rust. So I had to cut them out, and I did the driver's side, and I did it with a flux core welder, which is less than ideal. Um, but the back to the gas tank, I was really concerned about it, but I think since it was in a dry area for the most part, garages stay dry. I didn't have to deal with the humidity and the temperature changes, the extreme temperature changes, to where condensation forms outside. I dumped it out. There was some discoloration. There was some fuel in there. There was some discoloration. I dumped it out. But I looked inside, and it didn't seem like there was a ton of rust. There was outside rust from when he had driven it. So what I did was I busted it down. I bought POR. I bought the prep, the degreaser, all that stuff. Got it set up, and I redid it. I repainted the gas tank with POR and reinstalled it. And that's like God. That's one of my That's probably like the sixth video. That was like one of the first videos I made when I first got the car. And like, it's funny. You go back and watch some of my first stuff, and I'm super uncomfortable doing it, but it was fun. Um, so when it's running, probably probably about 55, just north of 50, and then when you're actually driving, probably I want to say closer to 70, but I can't remember. But I'm just thinking about it. As long as the oil pressure is north of 50, I'm not concerned. If it goes away, I've got an oil pan on my floor. I wipe it up every time I pull the car out, and as long as there's oil there each time I pull the car out a little bit, I know there's still some in the car. I think I check the oil level about once a week. For whatever reason, I really have issues with the drain plug on my motor. I bought the copper crush ring this time. I removed the old nylon one because the nylon one was leaking. I thought it was bad, and I didn't know there was different. I didn't know it was a crush ring at first. As a matter of fact, I didn't know that was a requirement. I've never had a car that needed it, and the copper one's a pain. I feel like I'm really scared of stripping the oil pan just on the way that modern cars are. With how strong I feel like I have to gronk it down in order to crush that copper ring. I don't know anything about those overdrive assemblies, so I'm not 100% on what you're referring to, unfortunately, as far as the switch. All I know is I wish I had overdrive, but I feel like I've gotten the car, I think, to about 75, and I mean, you're revving it up to in the 4,000s at that point, a little high, and a little concerned about a minor death wobble. Oh, okay. So you super glued them together, or they were previously super glued together and you had to bust them apart? What's up, everybody? I don't know who's here now and who joined. There's a car show this weekend. I'd love to take my kids to and get their little minis out there also, but my son's got a soccer game, so I got to make sure I take him to that. Who's in here? Are there any Mustang people in here yet? Been all MG this time. Last time I did this, it was all Mustang people. It's kind of funny. I did only post it in the MG group though. Yeah, I don't know how many. I honestly, I could probably ask the original owner when he did the motor swap. I don't know how many miles are on this motor. That's probably a good question for me to ask. But yeah, I've never had an issue with oil pressure. I was actually super worried about the when I first got this thing running, and it was actually going on its first like actual decent test drives. It was a heat index of over 115 here. I was super worried I was going to overheat, and it ran like a champ. And I'm hoping I'm using the right coolant. I've been using 50/50 European blend, so hopefully there's no crazy additive I'm missing out on. Yeah, I need to buy. Speaking of rivets, I need to buy rivet tool off Amazon. They got a pretty decently cheap kit. You know how much those run? I mean, I'd be interested, but honestly, the as long as the car runs, I'm gonna enjoy it. It's just for cruising around at this point. 60 feels plenty fast until I've built up the safety a little more. I'd like to get a roll bar for it just because of I don't want to. I just want a roll bar because I do want to do autocross with it at some point. Um, and actually, if I ever get a transmission upgrade, this car behind me, the motor's amazing, but the transmission they put in it is leaves something to be desired. I've got the one of the band-aids you can do for it, but I'd really like to buy one of the beefy transmissions from Trey Mech. Well, I keep my eye out on the local marketplace for parts, and stuff pops up. No, you don't. It would be the only reason I'd want the overdrive would be to drive the car from my house to my parents' house, which is 2 hours away. And to do that, you got to get on the interstate, which speed limit is 70. If I go 70 for 2 hours, my car's probably gonna blow up. Um, I mean, maybe not. Probably. I mean, it's running real good, but you know, even if you're doing 70, you're going slow on the interstate here. So I don't need big rigs blowing by me at like 85, and I feel like I'm in a little mouse car. Yeah, autocross was supposed to be. I was supposed to just start autocross this year, and then hopefully the MG would be ready next year. But um, that was supposed to get autocross this year, and my oldest son was going to go with me too. The local place that does it, they have go karts for the kids, and excuse me, my son was 5 years old back in March when we were supposed to start, and he was going to run the go karts. And those go karts have kill switches. It's on a big airstrip, so nothing to hit. But if they go crazy and try to run away, then guys kills it. But the go kart was going to go 45 miles an hour for my 5 year old son, and he was begging me about it every day, asking for like 2 months, and then the week out, COVID hit, right, and they canceled it, and man, I've never felt so awful breaking that to him. No, I don't, but that will be a hopefully that will be a modification in the future. Actually, I'm not opposed to the one that's mounted on the motor, but I want to get a aluminum radiator at some point. When I'm hoping now one of my next big projects is when I replace that master cylinder. Really, like you can tell, the brake fluid that they use is eating a lot of that paint that's there. I'm hoping to bust it down while it's gone, cover the motor a bit, and hopefully at least put some rattle can something. I gotta find something similar to Oxford white. Maybe just do black. I don't know, but do something to protect it in there. Ooh, that's a good question. My thermostat is 2 years old at least. Whatever's in there. Should I have changed it? Probably, but I've been running perfect temperature the whole time. Problem is, Randy, there. I mean, I mean, I can't really complain because you're going through it too. But uh, I'm definitely budget constrained on my build, and so I just tackle things as they come up. Um, Things that are more pressing as far as safety, I try to take care of those first. But like the first thing I did was go through the motor when I got in the car to check out a lot of the big parts to make sure it was mechanically sound and that it would not damage itself if I tried to fire it up. And I found out that when I did that, first time I tried to do the valve adjustment, one of my valves, the lift or sorry, the rod was not connecting the lifter. The gap was too big. No matter what I did, I couldn't set it right. So I had to. So I took the valve. I took the valve cover off right. I took the oh my gosh, I took all the lifters off, and I took off the exhaust manifold, the intake, and got to the tappet inspection cover. And I found out that he probably replaced the rods, the previous owner, when he was getting it rebuilt. And I'm guessing what happened when they pulled one of the rods, there was like a hydraulic lock on one of the lifters, and it pulled it out of its slot and it fell inside of the inspection cover. So when they dropped the new rod in, it just sat straight on the cam. And so I'm glad I cut that before I tried to fire it up because I would have jacked up my cam real bad. But so I just put it back in its little hole, put the lifter back in, readjusted the valves, engine was good as new. Um, I did my best, Pickle, for a while to. Yeah, I found out that running at like 3,000, 3,500 RPM is not great for my gas mileage. But I've been running 93. I just started putting Shell 93 in. I was originally running 87, and the car is much happier with 93. I should have been running it the whole time. And it dawned on me that whenever I was in Europe, the way their octane is so much higher than ours over here. So I just like why haven't I been doing this? And I did it, and the car just definitely likes it a lot more. Um, but yeah, talking about seats, Pickle. When I was first doing the floor pans, because it involved drilling the seat bolts, I looked for another set of seats, something a little more. I thought about some of these racing seats that were like plastic, but then I was like, you know what? I really don't like them. And now the car's coming together more. And when I did the video on the restoration of the 46-year-old paint using just compound and my buffer, like the paint's not perfect, obviously, because it's 46 years old, but it's in way better shape than I thought. So I'm kind of leaning towards beautifying the car a little more than I planned on it. Initially, I was just going to let it be a rugged race car. Like I let the kids slap the the race stickers on one side, um, just so they thought it was a race car. I was even going to get a big retro rally decal for the hood and the side, but I kind of squashed that after I saw how good shape the paint was in. Yeah, I found a set, but the guy had like a tear, and I just like, you know what? Nah, my seats are in really bad shape though. My stock seats. So either way, I either need something else or I need to rebuild them, get the new cushions and covers. Well, my left butt cheek is basically sitting on the bar. So actually, what I need to do is go get a patio cushion, probably for patio chair cushion, and put it in my car. I just haven't done it. It's funny though, my car is in like The interior is just it's non-existent. He gave me pretty much everything with the car, the previous owner, except for the interior. And I've lost one of my another thing I need to buy, which I should have ordered because I just put an order in from Moss Motors. I lost one of my reverse lights. I'm sure I threw it away, not knowing what the hell it was, what it was for. I probably assumed it was for an appliance when I was moving. Probably threw it away. So I got to order another one. Um, but I lost my train of thought. But yeah, he did not give me the interior, so I've got to pretty much start from scratch there. And I was going to rhino line. I was going to originally the plan was to rhino line the floor and protect it that way, make it like kind of like a truck bed. Um, and it's POR'd right now. That POR is on there thick. Ha, Dale. What's up, Dale? Dale, you're the first muscle car guy that I think's popped in. Everybody else has been talking. We've been talking a lot of MG stuff. Hey, man, take care. Dale, this was how I ate my time up tonight. They're pretty badass. Not gonna lie. Yeah, I got so excited after I put the light on that I figured, you know, I did one of these streams last week and I wasn't really expecting anything. I was gonna sit in my garage. I got a smart TV and I usually sit out here and just watch Netflix when I'm working on things. But right now I got a bunch of Christmas my way, um, and people started talking, so figured I'd do it again. Dale, we gotta get together and get some. Oh, I got a lot more lights to go. Yeah, we got to get together and get some footage of the two cars. I don't know where though. I definitely don't want a ticket. My police scanner died the other day. I don't know if the cord just went bad because it was all dry rotted, but I gotta figure that out. Oh, lights look great. Car lights. Uh, so honestly, I kind of take mine up 17, and the first road that I saw that branched off to look like it was going nowhere is kind of where I'd go, and it has some windy, nice turny roads, but people also live back there, and the boss is stupid loud out the side pipes, and I really don't like disturbing people or feel like I'm not trying to be an ass hat out there. I wouldn't mind just going on a cruise up to like the Outer Banks or something. I've never done that. I don't know if you have to take a ferry though. I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know where Pollocksville is, but I'm guessing it's north of me. Shoot, I wouldn't mind just driving out to New Bern and parking and getting some chow. I don't know why the heck it's so cold. Last year it was scorching this time of year. It's freaking 30 degrees tonight. Okay. Yeah, Maysville. I don't know. I used to just go out there and take the boys for little rides. My youngest really likes going out there, and we I'm in North Carolina, Jacksonville. But okay, Texas. You guys got some pretty sweet. Got one of the, they got the guy that had what's that? Where's that highway that they tested it with a Corvette going through it at like 200 miles an hour? The speed camera. But yeah, north of Maysville, I just happened to run into a guy with a Focus RS out there, and he was obviously tuned because you can tell his cat was gone. He was shooting out whenever he punched it. He's shooting out. You could smell it. You could smell the difference. And yeah, he was out there trying to mess around with me. It didn't go so well for him. But then again, Dale, I came to the realization that of all my the muscle car friends I've made here, I think I have the slow car somehow. It's okay. There's worse slow cars to have. Yeah, I gotta introduce you to my other buddy with the Hellcat. It's down for the count right now. He broke a half shaft on the track. It was a pretty bad day. My MG leaks a lot. There's a pan under the car. Well, it doesn't leak a lot, but it leaks. There's a pan under the car, and when I pull it off, it looks bad, but it's really not that bad. I just don't always wipe it up. But I was super worried because it looked like a lot to me, and it looks like it was coming from my transmission. And when I loaded it, when I put the Castrol in the transmission, I was sitting at an angle of some sort. So the normal fill line, right? The way you check if it's high on the at least on my year group. If it's the early body style, you have to go behind the radio. If it's the late model, you go on the side, you unscrew, and you kind of put your finger in to see where it is. Well, because I kind of loaded it at an angle, I checked the level when it was flat, and as soon as I unscrewed it, it was overfull, and stuff started falling out. So I think I kind of messed that up at first. But oh yeah, I bought a bleeder, so I will absolutely bench bleed it. The guy Bowser Builds, he's got a pretty good video on. He has a great video on the install for the master. So I mean, I'm probably gonna do one anyway, but he did a really good job on his. Yeah, Dale, I'm getting a settlement that could from a previous car crash where I got rear-ended that could buy me a supercharger, but my responsible self is going to put that into savings. Yeah, that's the plan. Yep, and rare earth. I think you're right. I bought the gasket kit for the transmission, but then I was looking at it, and I could replace a couple of them while it's like under the car, but I can't get them all. I also bought the rear transmission seal, and I don't want to tackle that unless I can get the whole thing out of the car. Yeah, I'm probably gonna head off here in a minute. I've got to. I'll be up late tomorrow at work, so better do. Rare, rare earth. What did what you have a B? I'm trying to go back through the post and see which one you said you if you said you owned like what you own. I know we've talked to you before on YouTube. I get so many suggestions from so many people that I can't remember everybody. I apologize if I'm forgotten. Ah, end of an era. So what color? Still in good shape? Okay. Well, yeah, yeah. I'm trying to. There's a group near me that has a bunch of MGs, and I've got a couple things that I'm hoping to get in touch with them to have them help me out with. I was able to figure out most of the electronics myself that I was having trouble with. However, the yeah, yeah, white, and I'm definitely in the middle of a restoration. I don't know if I call it a full restoration, but it's something. I don't know what I'm doing, but I tell you what, I don't know if you Randy, I don't know if you're still here, and if you've done the I don't know what you call it, the rubber below the windscreen, but I've tried to do that like 5 freaking times. It's impossible. And everybody says stay patient, heat it up, try silicone, and I put it on there. I tried it all, and it never works. So there's a guy at the club who said he's done it all the time. So I need to. I finally drive the car. Well, actually now I can't because I got to put a new master cylinder on. But um, when I can drive the car again, I'm gonna get it out there and get one of these guys to hopefully help me out. Shoot, I will pay a man $100 to put that damn thing on. I'm so frustrated with it. For real. I was so impatient, man. I just wanted to drive the car. And since I knew I wasn't going to drive it in the rain anyway, I just put it on. Unless you know you're an MG guy, nobody notices. I get so many thumbs ups in this thing, uh, usually because there's no passenger seat. So I have like a old military style blanket there, and my dog goes for rides with me. My dog's 105 pounds, so he sits almost as high as I do. Thought about getting him some goggles, but he doesn't really need them with the windshield. But yeah, the club here in North Carolina, they do something. They do a big show each year. I'm super excited. Hopefully, I can get down there. They do a show called Brits at the Battleship, and they all do. They all meet at the USS North Carolina, and I think that'll be a lot of fun. It's real neat because my uncle actually works on that ship, so he's like the head engineer. All right, gents. I need to take a shower, get ready for bed. Got to get up in the morning. Appreciate you guys talking with me. I love just chatting cars. Definitely been missing because of the virus here. All right, guys. I'm signing off. Appreciate everyone here. I'll see you guys next time. I think actually, I'm sorry. You guys well, luckily I've got no panels, so it's actually not hard for me to get access to the bolts. It uh it is yeah, it's not hard to get access to bolts. I've heard it's a lot harder to push it down when you've got the rubber on. Yeah, I think I'm gonna kind of make this a normal thing where I do it once a week. Um, I might, I don't know, I might switch. I might need to switch cars and do like one day MGB, another day Mustang. I've kind of split up my videos that way because I found out that like when I was kind of doing a mixed intro, it kind of was rubbing some people the wrong way, and so I just kind of I didn't want to make two channels for two separate cars, so I just kind of changed the intro to where I did one that was Mustang, one that was MGB, and that way I can kind of keep the group separate. I don't share my Mustang videos on the MGB groups unless it's something adorable my kids that I think people will enjoy. But yeah, man, appreciate you guys talking. Definitely going to bed. Take care. And bye.